YouTube channel. Today's recipe is another one of my family favorites. It's a Parsi recipe. It's called Sali but Eedu. Sali meaning thin or slightly thick, crispy potato straws, and Eedu means an egg. So it's like eggs on potato straws. They are beautiful. It's super simple to make, and I just think it's something that you can do in like 10 minutes. So why not? Now you can make this dish without the Salli if you don't have that, and if you do, I mean it's easy to find, but if you don't have access to that for whatever reason, you can do this with like potato chips or wafers. Just crush them up. But it would be slightly different. I mean, we call that wafer per Eedu. Parsis love eggs, so we slap an egg on anything. It's like an old joke. But I'll leave all the details about how you can use a substitute for Salli in my complete blog post, which has the whole recipe as well. And fun fact, believe it or not, this was the very first recipe that I put up when I started my blog. Eight years ago. Yeah, it was the first ever blog post, but it was a little different recipe from the traditional one that I'm going to show you today, so I'll link that as well, and maybe you'll enjoy reading that. So before we dive into the recipe, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can stay tuned and get notified whenever I put up a new video. Hopefully once the lockdown ends, I'll do a little bit more traveling, and that will be exciting as well. But till then, we're gonna I want to literally hammer out as many recipes as I possibly can, because I'm having so much fun in the kitchen. And also, don't forget to like this video and maybe leave me a comment. I like hearing from you guys. I feel like then I know exactly what you want. I'm also on Instagram. I'm gonna drop my links all in the description so we can follow each other. And without further ado, let's just dive into the recipe.
For this recipe, you're going to need a couple of chopped onions, one chopped tomato. I don't like to put too much in it, but it's up to you. Some chopped chilies and spices, cumin, coriander powder, turmeric, red chili powder, some salt for seasoning, and chopped coriander. Of course, we have the star of this recipe, the Salli or potato straws. They can be thin and crisp like this. You do get them slightly thicker. Either is okay. And of course, the egg or Eedu. You could do 1, 2, 3, as many as you like. Add a shot of oil to your pan and then toss in your chopped onions and chopped chilies, and we'll cook this for about a minute or two, or at least till the onions start turning a slight shade of brown. To this, we'll add in our chopped tomatoes and cook for another minute or so before continuing with the rest of the spices. We'll add in all our spices, the turmeric, cumin powder, red chili powder, coriander powder. I don't put salt at this stage just because I think the Salli has enough salt that leaches out. But if you want to season it slightly, you absolutely can. At this point, I like to add just a little bit of water, not too much. We don't want a gravy or sauce of any kind, but just a little bit so that the spices and onions and tomato mixes well together and cooks completely. To this mixture, I'll toss in all the Salli and give it a slight mix. I don't have to completely mix it through and through, but just gently mix it down, and then we'll sort of make sure that the entire pan is lined with this Salli and masala mixture, and you can just pat it down gently to make sure that all the corners are covered as well. It's like a bed of this Salli and spice mixture. Now this is the tricky part, at least for me. You just crack your eggs on top of this mixture to let it cook. I tend to be a bit of a klutz, so I like to crack them in a little bowl and then gently put them in. Of course, sometimes an egg or a yolk or two will break. That's completely okay. It doesn't really matter. But as much as you can, try and get a whole egg in. Traditionally, you're supposed to make slight wells or a little dip in this mixture so that the egg sits in nicely. I forgot to do that, but I would recommend that you do that a little bit. It might make it easier. At this stage, just sprinkle some salt over your yolks for seasoning because the eggs have no salt, and I also like to garnish it with a little bit of chopped coriander. You could put it at this stage or later. Now we cover it so that it cooks completely in its own steam. I would say for about 5 minutes. At this stage that you can see the yolk is a little bit runny, so if you like a runny yolk, then it's cooked at this point and you can take it off. I like it a little bit firmer. All of us at home like it firmer, so we cook it for say another minute or two, and that's pretty much it. Just ever so gently cut out each piece. I just cut this down into 4 pieces so that there's an egg on each piece, and you can put it in a container and pop it in the fridge as well to eat a little later, but that's not really what I recommend. I recommend eating this fresh off the pan. So there you go, that is your Salli par Eedu. It's a great breakfast dish, but honestly, we just eat it as a meal, like a light dinner or a light lunch. It's easy, it comes together within minutes, and it's a great play on textures because of that crisp base and then that runny egg or firm egg on top. Either which ways, it's perfect, and I hope you enjoy this recipe.
So that's it. That is my recipe. It's super simple. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, or if you try it out, tag me on Instagram and leave me a comment. I really want to see what you come up with. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.